welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. We will continue the conversation on Matt Kuchar stiffing his caddy tomorrow. The golf guru Dennis Servos will be in studio, and we're going to get a PGA Tour caddy to comment on this issue as well, because it is an interesting story. So if you're wondering, what is there to do in Vegas this weekend? Hopefully the weather gets a little better, but what is there to do this weekend? Well, of course, the guy we have this on the line, he joins us every Thursday. He is Mr. Vegas, does a phenomenal job for the Review-Journal. He knows everything that's going on in this town. That is Johnny Katz. Johnny, thanks so much for taking some time, my man. How are you?
No, I'm doing just fine. How are you guys doing?
What's up, Johnny?
Doing good. Are you at an event today? What is going on? Usually you're out and about.
I am out and about, sir. I am at this very moment. I'm in the sports book at Paris, Las Vegas, and I'm outside the Anthony Coole's Experience Theater, where my girlfriend is performing sex tips for straight women for a gay man for a show.
Can you ask her if she can open up a show called Sex Tips for Bald 38-year-old Radio Straight Men?
You know, if you come in, Brian, with the right filter, this show's for you.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
You'll learn something, I promise you. That's an open invitation. I've seen it a bunch of times. I learn something every time.
I appreciate that. You know what? I might just have to do that. All right. So you're out there at Paris with your girlfriend.
So if I'm an aspiring pickup artist, do I go there?
To the show?
Yes.
Yeah, I would. To get tips, not to pick up on
right.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There's a couple of tips in there for a pickup artist.
To add some moves to my repertoire, if you will.
Definitely some moves. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, cool.
Fair enough. All right, so you're out there. You're out there tonight. This is an interesting weekend. What do we got going on this weekend? Where are you going to be at this weekend? That's the real question.
Tomorrow night, I am going to be at KISS at T-Mobile Arena.
Wow.
For their, I think this is the third farewell show I've seen of theirs. And on Saturday, I'm with the Golden Knights at T-Mobile.
Who are they playing Saturday?
The main thing. Good question. I don't know. Who are they playing Saturday?
I know tonight.
T-Mobile on there.
Tonight they're playing the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're down 1-0 in the first period. I believe they've lost 4 in a row, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it Predators? I think is it Predators?
Oh, okay. It might be the Predators. Yeah, I know. I know that.
Yeah, that's right. Because I was going to angle in on that whole. Remember the thing with Carrie Underwood? Carrie Underwood after the Predators were eliminated. She offered to sing the national anthem. That whole thing.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
Yeah,
so,
But I'm gonna be riding from what I call the perch there at T-Mobile Arena on Saturday, and yeah, that's the extended forecast right now.
So nothing too crazy for you this weekend. Nothing nuts. That's a slow weekend. That's a slow weekend for you.
You know, I might be heading back over to see Chicago.
Where are they at?
They are at the Venetian Theater.
Oh, nice. That's
also possible. I might make it over to both. I might go there early and come over to T-Mobile later on Saturday. I got a couple of guys who I've become friendly with over time in the band.
Cool. I did hear that JD's favorite Barry Manilow is in town this weekend as well at the Westgate.
He's back.
Yes.
That's right. He's back in town, for the first shows this year. Yeah.
And as a diamond member, I do have some tickets available.
Cabana number. Yeah, there are tickets available.
Yes.
Cabana ending is great in that show.
Hey, Johnny, with what's going on with Anthony Davis and the Pelicans and them basically dismantling their entire franchise over there in New Orleans, have you heard anything new about them coming to Vegas at all lately?
The Pelicans? No.
Yes.
I have not.
Really?
I personally have not. No.
Fair enough. I mean, I think
not the circles I'm running in. No. Something like that usually comes up in my venue when I'm running around venues, but I haven't.
All right. Well, we hope.
I know that we're built to have an NBA team move here, but I haven't heard specifically that is happening.
I know that March is right around the corner. So we're gonna. When is this AAA ballpark going to be finished?
I believe it's mid-April.
All right, so that's coming up.
I think that was the pin date on it.
That is a great place, I think, for that ballpark, isn't it?
Incredible. It's a staggering facility, and that Summerlin area, that whole with the Golden Knights National Arena and Red Rock Resort already in place in that ballpark. It's going to be really the second epicenter of Las Vegas, or third if you count. You got downtown, the Strip, and now that.
Have you been anywhere near the Raiders arena? Have you been anywhere near there? Have they opened it up to people? Not yet. No, I mean it's looking like it's coming along pretty good.
Yeah, it's what you get when you're near it, when you're driving by it. I drive by it every day. Is how tall it is and how close it is to the 15. that's it's going to be amazing. It's going to change the look of the city completely.
So call me crazy, but there's a new casino coming up called Resort World, and I look at the windows, and I look at the Wynn's windows, and they look eerily similar. What's going on with that?
I don't know. I've had limo and cabbies call me and to ask me about this and text me who I know in town ever since they started that project. I believe they settled their legal action between Wynn and Resorts, or Genting Group, which is building the hotel. My personal skeptical theory about this is don't rule out that this has just been a big publicity stunt on behalf of Genting to get people, generating conversation about their design by using that particular pattern. But it's going up as is, and I hope to see when it's finished to go to the ribbon cutting and ask that very question,
Yeah.
But the key thing I think that people need to realize is this is a great debate to have because it is being completed. There was some debate in the city about whether that was going to happen at all a couple of years ago.
I mean, they couldn't make the windows blue, or
they had guys, they had this period of time when they were testing panels. They had a series of panels up that were in different shades. There was a light, there was a gold, there was this color they have here. They had different colors. And, to see what they look like when the sun hit them. And then they picked this one. That's exactly like – I don't get that. If you went to the trouble of testing it, I don't understand.
I'll tell you what I think. I think that there's a lot of very wealthy Asians that go to the Wynn and that they are trying to create confusion between the two places.
You think?
Oh, man. That would be it would conceivably work. A lot of their executives have been high rollers at the Wynn over the years.
Right.
Yeah. They have actually played over there.
Hey, how's that lucky?
I don't know.
I don't know. How's that Lucky Dragon casino turned out? I don't think there's anyone staying in that casino these days.
Maybe you can get some replacement panels from that place because it's also got that color.
What are they going to do with that place, man? What are they going to do with that property?
I don't know. Somebody's going to have to buy it and turn it into something or knock it down. I don't know.
I mean, honestly, is that area just cursed, right? Because we used to have the Sahara there, and now it's the SLS. Don't get me wrong. I like the SLS. They get some great restaurants over there, good shows. But I've heard that the SLS is not doing very well. I can't imagine that Circus is killing it. It just seems to me, yeah.
You mentioned two properties. I know Circus has consistently been operating in the black because of the clientele it attracts.
Make no mistake, Brian. The Circus prints money, and it has for years.
It is that one, and also Excalibur heard the same thing about because they're the market leaders in their particular division. The SLS, we just had a story last week. I think that they turned their first quarter profit most recently ever, the last quarter. So they are on the right track to becoming profitable. But I'll tell you, that area, I don't believe it's necessarily cursed. It's just it's because you've eliminated a lot of business when you close the Stardust for starters.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to have to wait for the tide to come back in when you open Resorts World, and also the Las Vegas Convention Center build out onto the Las Vegas Strip, and the Drew. When those all are back in operation and you have all that convention business, especially from the Las Vegas Convention Center, SLS will do a lot better. And if Lucky Dragon could have held on long enough, they would have most likely reaped some business from that too. But it's a casino executive told me right when SLS opened in 2014, it was his words were stillborn at the time because of the lack of natural traffic, pedestrian and otherwise, on that corner.
Yeah.
And I don't care how much you redesign something or how you name it or what kind of fragrance you put into the casino floor, if your location is bad, you're going to have a tough time in Las Vegas.
I totally agree. And you know what? The SLS food is great. All their food is great.
They do food great.
I am a huge fan of their food.
I tell you, I like the original design of SLS. I thought a lot of what they did was really cool. Their venues are designed well.
Mm-hmm.
Their original nightclub was cool. Life. The Foundry's a nice music hall now. The second generation of Life. I like the Sayers Club a lot. There's a fun brunch show called Esther Goldberg's Outrageous Brunch going in there by the end of the month. They have comedy every night in that room. Foxtail was cool. They've had some innovative design and some good ideas over there. But it's just it's the wear of it all, What
would you say, Johnny, is the favorite right now, the odds-on Vegas favorite for the next casino to be torn down?
Oh, to be torn down.
Yeah.
Oh man, I think we've knocked down about everything we can knock down. I think that the Lucky Dragon facility might come down at some point.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would not want to hazard a guess otherwise.
I was going to say
I really
Excalibur.
I really wouldn't want to go there.
I've never had a positive experience in Excalibur ever.
We're not going to have Johnny say anything bad about Excalibur.
I know.
No, you know what that Excalibur does have? They've got a great lounge in there, and Excal is having some investment that we aren't really talking about right now, and that is there's a magician coming into that hotel named Hans Klock, who a decade and 2 years ago headlined at the old TPA at Planet Hollywood.
Oh, okay.
He's investing himself more than $1 million in a new venue inside the Excalibur.
Wow.
That's going to be his home. That's going to be the home of the Thunder from Down Under. And there's some serious money going in there for entertainment. And they also have Puerto Bruta, the 10th show out in the east lot, the open lot on the east. That's going to open up on March 4th. And there's some investment there, too. That's a 6-month show, but they want to run that permanently eventually. So there's some activity going on at Excalibur. There's some real hard money investment and some ingenuity going into that hotel that people are going to be impressed with by the time the spring rolls around.
Well, Brian does love Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah, that's very true. I do frequent that.
Have you ever seen that show? Have you ever been in a Thunder from Down Under
I have not. I've been to the Chippendales at the Rio. I took a date there.
He's Facebook friends with about 5 of the dancers.
That's not true. He's making that up.
What you do is you go to Sex Tips and you figure out how some pickup maneuvers. Next thing you do is go to Thunder from Down Under, and you deal with that audience.
I've always said the best place to pick up a chick is outside of one of those shows because they're just ready to go.
Did we ever talk about the Jeff Timmons thing? Did we talk about that, the BK Lounge that's now
no.
Is it still BK Lounge?
No, I don't think we have.
Chippendales at the Rio?
We have not talked about that, no.
Jeff Timmons, when he was the guest host of Chippendales, like 4 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. He brought him in from 98 Degrees, and he said the best place that he's ever been. This is a member of 98 Degrees, mind you, who's seen it all. So the best place he's ever seen to pick up women was that burger restaurant,
the burger
BK
joint
Lounge, across from what they call Flirt Lounge at the Chippendales.
Yes,
cats, I've seen it night after night after night. You can't miss.
He's probably right. I know that's like a few feet away from
we actually had a burger there, didn't we?
We did.
We actually, I think I had a hot dog there.
I had an atrocious date that night. We went to see, if you recall, Perez Hilton was hosting the Chippendales, and look, I don't want to look at naked men. It's just not my thing. But what was even worse was my date. She wouldn't stop talking in my ear the whole time. I was absolutely miserable. I got JD on my right and this horrendous date to my left. And it was just a miserable night for me. But hey, it's a great show.
That was an experience. So Johnny, where am I eating this weekend? Hopefully it's not BK.
You're not going to BK. I'm here. Heck at Paris, Las Vegas is a very stylish place, right? The weather's not great for these two I'm giving you, but they have the opening to the Strip when the weather's nice. It's really, really cool. And they have some good lounge music that comes in and performs, including Frankie Perez on the weekends. And also, Mon Ami Gabi is a great place, again, when weather's right, for brunch here at this hotel. Those are two great. The Ramsey restaurant here is really good, too. They've got some good food here at Paris.
There you go. All right. Yeah. Well, Johnny, before we let you go, share with us anything you are working on currently that we can expect maybe in the next few days, and give out that information so people can follow you.
Okay. The next thing, one thing I'm writing about, this is an absolute new thing. I haven't even tweeted about it at all. Roseanne Barr and Suzanne Summers are working on a show in Las Vegas.
Really? Where at?
They want to come. They don't know yet. They want to sell this to a venue in the city. This is the big question mark. Is they want to put it together and pitch it to resorts on the Strip.
Suzanne's not a comedian, though. What would she? That's interesting.
Suzanne Summers is a guy. She's had a cabaret show that ran at Westgate Cabaret.
I remember that. Yep.
So she does that. She does a pretty good one. She actually does a really good one-woman show. They just had a tough time selling it at Westgate. Roseanne obviously is a stand-up who has generated all kinds of conversations. And they know each other, and they're putting together, I'm not kidding, a show that they want to pitch to Las Vegas. So that's a new thing.
I feel like that would play really well at Red Rocks.
Yeah, that could be. If they want to go out there. And I wrote about Postmodern Jukebox is coming into the One Oak nightclub at the Mirage. It's a very stylish, if you're familiar with them, Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox. Great big band act that does reimagined contemporary music in a kind of a swing old Las Vegas style. That's going to be very fun. Coming in for residency in beginning in April. Def Leppard's coming to Zappos Theater in September or August and September. Aerosmith has extended its residency. They're doing 35 dates at the Park Theater this year.
Wow.
Christina Aguilera we've talked about. There's a lot. There's a lot coming in. There's a piano tribute show coming into the Flamingo where the Donnie Marie showroom is. All great piano, rock piano legends like Stevie Wonder, Billy Joel, Elton John, Jerry Lewis, and they're going to do a show for a month there beginning next month. So there's a lot happening.
Yeah, I can see that.
I'm staggering myself here. At Johnny Katz on Twitter, JOHNNYKATS.
We don't want you to stay.
At Johnny Katz #1 Instagram, and Podcats. The latest interview is with Ice Cube. And he's headlining at House of Blues at Mandalay Bay tomorrow night.
Look at that, getting better guests than me. That makes me a little jealous. Well, congrats.
The Ice Cube's a big. He's got that Big Three tournament.
Yeah, I went to that.
Basketball?
Yeah, I've been to that in the past. And Lamar Odom.
About that on the show. Yeah, Lamar Odom's draftful.
Odom's in that.
What could possibly go wrong?
A couple.
Nothing.
Yep.
Hey, Johnny, did you see that Colin Kaepernick asked for $20 million to play in the AAF?
I didn't see the number. I'd pay him.
You generate a lot of money for somebody.
Yeah, he really wants to play football.
Yeah.
I would pay that guy, man. I mean, the league needs some kind of, they need a conversation starter in that league right now, other than you can bet on everything that moves in it.
Right. I agree.
I mean, you can really bet on everything that moves, literally bet on everything that moves.
You really can.
So,
you really can.
I love that.
It's
but
nuts.
Why not? If Roseanne Barr can talk about residency in Las Vegas, Colin Kaepernick can talk about being in that league.
Amen. She's definitely had her share of controversy, that's for sure. Mr. Johnny Katz, that is why you are Mr. Vegas. I don't know what you didn't tell us in the last 15 minutes. Thank you so much.
Boys.
Yeah, well, great job as always. Get back to your girlfriend's show. Tell her I said hello and I need some tips, and I will catch up.
You guys are coming with me.
I would love to do that. Catch up with you next week, my friend. I'd love to catch your girlfriend's show out there too. Thanks so much for coming on, Johnny. Right. We'll see you next week.
All right, gentlemen. Take care.
Right.
Yep. See you, Johnny.
He is Johnny Katz from the Review Journal. Man, that he just unloaded a bunch of Las Vegas entertainment.
He just dropped like 5 or 6 serious Vegas entertainment bombs on us.
Holy smokes, that's crazy. Well, speaking of Vegas, we only got a few more minutes to go here. So I got into a little Twitter conversation, as I do with, on a daily basis. This time it was with Trisha Keene. Do you know who she is? She is a local reporter here in Vegas. She's a TV reporter. She does a very good job. So she posts on her Twitter page, and this is not I'm not a cheap shot to her. It's just the way news works in this town. As you know, it rained all day today. It was raining. Big deal. Showers. Who cares? So all the local news outlets here, they're leading with the story. Showers all day. It's rainy. It's floody. Who cares? That's what I say. Like, who gives a crap? Big deal. It's raining. It's not like we're in a huge snowstorm here. I get it. People are not used to rain and driving in the rain. You are all morons. I don't understand it. So I said to her, I go, is it a slow news day today that you have to lead and do stand-ups with rain? And I didn't mean to offend her, but she's like, hey, we're just giving our listeners what they want. And I said, this is what they want? They want to hear you do a stand-up with rain in the background, and that's like a huge story? I mean, look.
Are you talking like Family Guy where that guy goes, "Go outside"? That's all I said, kind of like that.
I mean, I get it. There's going to be some fender benders. I get that. Some of these streets are going to be flooded because we're in the desert. I get all that. But this is the lead
downtown,
story.
It is like right in front of where I live. It's very. I mean, there's like 3 inches of.
And I get that,
puddles of water
but
there.
That should be the lead story on every single local newscast today. Are you effing kidding me? Is that what people really want? So I told her, I said, it's the 1-year anniversary of the Parkland shooting, and of course we had the biggest mass shooting in history right here in Las Vegas not that long ago. You think maybe we could lead with something like that? How about gun safety? How about talking to the victims? How about finding I don't know. That's just what I said to her. I didn't mean to offend her. She's a very nice lady. And then she said, well, stay tuned because we're going to be leading with the rain stuff at 5 and 6 o'clock. I said, sorry, I can't really do that. I'm doing a radio show, so I can't. Good luck with your rain story. I just can't do it. I go, what do you even say? Like, what does the news director say? When they assign you that, hey, we want you to cover the rain. Can you do a stand up?
It's raining outside.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Can you do a stand up on the strip? Yeah.
The only thing that makes any sense is that a raincoat company paid them big money to put the idea of buying raincoats into their listeners'
Find
minds.
some buffoon that stalled his car on a street and tried to, jet it. Find somebody that has a car like mine, like an 04 Hyundai Elantra, that tried to, jet through a street where you shouldn't have and got stalled in there.
Brian, nobody has a car like yours.
That's true.
They would be impounded.
That's true. What is it with local news, though, man? I was a reporter for 10 years. It's just like, I don't understand it, man. I just don't get it. Can you imagine that news director? Hey, we want you to do a live stand-up in Summerlin. Tell us where the water is out there. Like it's some sort of freaking hurricane here or something. What are people's fascination? Is that true? Is that how we get ratings in this town? Should we have done an hour today just talking about the weather? That's what we'll do tomorrow. We'll do a lead story. We'll say, hey, you know what? Your garden's growing. Got some rain yesterday. Sorry about that car that stalled on the strip. Were there any water rescues? I mean, I hope there weren't, but people are dumb. They drive in areas where they shouldn't be driving. But that's like the top story. Like
the real question is Trump going to visit because of the major flooding that's happening here?
No, I doubt that. I don't think that's going to happen. Here's what I don't understand. If that's your lead story at 5 o'clock, what changed at 6 o'clock in an hour? Because she said the lead story, she was doing a live stand-up at 5 o'clock and then 6 o'clock. So from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock, what do they use the same script? What do they say? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we got 1/10 more of an inch of rain last time I spoke with you. Like what? I just don't understand local news. I never did. I worked in it for a while. I don't get it. I was a news reporter. Cover this story. I don't know. I just think there are probably better things to talk about.
Brian, what's the night score?
I believe it is 1-0. So, and I put some money on the Knights today.
Brian, what's the Utah-Arizona score?
I have no idea. I'm not going to look up scores for you right now. We're on the air. I'm not going to do that.
I have a wager on Utah money line myself. That's why I asked.
Okay. Well, I don't care. I don't have any money on it, so I could give two crowds. Ken Thompson's given us signals. That was a weird signal. I don't know what. Look at Ken. He's giving you a signal right now. I don't know what he's saying. Oh, so you're doing good. You're up. Oh, okay,
they're
good.
Up 10 points.
Of course, because I didn't take the bet that you took, so I'm sure you're going to win. Sure you are. Sure you're going to be just fine. I made the mistake of taking the Vegas Golden Knights today. I think they're going to lose this game. They're down 1-0. I know Toronto is a really, really good hockey team, one of the best in the NHL. But I figured Gallant, gave it to him a few days ago. Questioned how hard they were playing, so I thought they'd come back and win today. Well, it's still early. It's 1-0.
It'd be nice to talk to Gallant or Mark Dassault or really anybody
I've tried.
Connected to the Golden Knights program.
They're very difficult
That would
to
be
get.
wonderful.
They're very difficult to get. Anyway, that's another story for another show. Tomorrow on the show, we got Dennis Silvers, the golf guru. We're going to talk a little bit more about this Matt Kuchar tipping situation. What a bizarre situation it is. So we'll get to that. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Ken Thompson coming up next. Catch us on Twitter at The Vegas Take. The all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.